Fox News alert, violent street battles in Egypt overnight, leaving at least 7 people dead. Listen to the strength of that crowd and the anger that is bubbling within it on both sides of this. The supporters and the opponents of President Mohamed Morsi stormed right up to the gates of the palace there, and then they got into this clash that you see playing out in Cairo. The Egyptian military today is warning these demonstrators from both sides that they must now clear out. They have set up tanks and barbed wire to achieve that goal. Very volatile times right now, and that's how we start a brand new hour today of America's Newsroom. Good to have you with us, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum.
And I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning again. Many of those protesters defying the military orders, staying camped out at the palace overnight. And now the violence comes as President Morsi meets with military leaders to talk about how to stabilize the country.
David Lee Miller has been watching all of this unfold. He joins us now from our Mideast Bureau. And it seems like the violence is really reaching a new level right now, David Lee.
You're right, Martha. For the first time here, we're really witnessing Egyptian against Egyptian in the streets of Cairo. The latest clash is taking place outside of the presidential palace. On one side, as you mentioned, the supporters of President Mohamed Morsi. On the other side, secular groups who say the new constitution proposed by Morsi and the Islamists is something they cannot agree with. Each side threw firebombs and rocks. There was also gunfire. And in addition to the 7 dead that you just mentioned, there were 600 or so who were injured. The commander of the Republican Guards tried to assure Egyptians that it is not going to take sides. The Republican Guards are tasked primarily with protecting the president in the presidential compound. In the last few hours, the Guard ordered protesters to leave. Tanks have been brought in, also armored vehicles. And we are told that Morsi supporters have withdrawn. The opposition says there will be more protests. And what's also notable here is that we have seen clashes in a number of other cities, including the city of Alexandria, the second largest city in Egypt. So it looks like there's a lull right now in the violence, but the two sides have not yet resolved this conflict, not anything close.
No,
Martha?
Not anything close at this point. Is there any hopes for, a framework or something that might change this, allow it to be resolved peacefully, David Lee?
We are told that the president, the Egyptian president, is going to make an address on television in the next few hours. We are also told that during the day he has met with army chiefs and his ministers to try and come up with some way to stabilize the country. We've got a live picture outside the presidential palace right now, and the situation there at this hour does remain tense. Egypt's vice president said he has, and these are his words, personal ideas to resolve the dispute, to come up with amendments that would be applied to the proposed constitution that would be agreeable to the opposition. But right now, the position of the opposition, Martha, is this: there will not be any dialogue. Dialogue will not take place until Morsi says there will not be a referendum on the constitution, and he withdraws those additional powers that he took on a few weeks ago. Right now, the deadlock continues. The position from the opponents of Morsi sums things up this way. One of their leaders said that, as far as they're concerned, Morsi is essentially the new Hosni Mubarak. Back to you.
Doesn't sound like much of a negotiating position there on either side at the moment. David Lee Miller, thank you very much.